So now let's dive into XRP in particular, right? And in general, what I think might happen into the upcoming month, couple months, what to look out for, and how to avoid this uh-oh zone, okay? So the first thing I want to make mention of is the fact that since April 13th, we've been in a range, which I don't think there's anything wrong with being in a range. If I were to pull up volume, we'll go ahead and do that right now. Okay, volume has remained relatively low and arguably below average. The same would remain true on, let's see here, Binance. So I am juggling the chart back and forth between a few different deals, and the reason for that, and maybe, you know, a cool little educational piece, would be if I go to a weekly time frame, you can see that Binance doesn't have a ton of trade history. April 2018 would be the first, but you remember 2017 we have quite a history with XRP hitting crazy all-time highs. So when I bounce back and forth, the reason I'm doing that is because on the XRP on Bitstamp chart, okay, you can see that I have the full range of price history, basically back to its inception in 2013, 2014. Whereas on Binance, I simply don't have access to that. However, on Binance, we have far more trade volume, and something that I want to note here, we have 35.137 million shares traded today, whereas over here, we only have 897K shares. So there's far more volume on Binance. So when I'm looking at volume, I would typically choose the chart that has the most volume because it's going to reign true. Okay, so what we have seen, and one thing that is very positive for XRP, is that anytime we touch this lower range here, you can see that there are buyers stepping in. They usually wait for a little bit of positive price action. Okay, so that would have happened here. This simple chart pattern right here, if you will, prove to buyers that there's enough buying here, and then a wick right up on this range here. I'm going to try to get in there a little bit further so you guys can really see right here. Okay, see that wick? We're putting in new highs. We're getting bought out at the lows. Gave buyers confidence that this was a local low, which caused the price to jump right here. Okay, and then the same thing happened right around here. You can see that this pattern happened again, and then we had what you would call a three white soldiers pattern into a move to the upside, and yet again here. So these volume bars, okay, are telling me a story. They're telling me that we have a strong range of support and buyers at this range of 30 cents, 31, 32 cents, with a strong long wick to the downside here and here that was bought up and supported. And so now I have a strong support right at that 32 cent range. And when I pull it back and go through history, you can see that what used to be a resistance here, right, with a bit of volatility in between, became a support. So there is a lot of demand at this 31, 32 cent level, okay? However, it doesn't seem that there's a lot of demand, and let me go ahead and get right up here, past, at least currently, past this 66 cent level. So whenever we climb above this range here, usually that first move is always going to be massive, right? And the same thing happens with Bitcoin. I can compare them chart by chart, but usually that first move kind of sets the new, that price discovery for the time period, if you will. And then you start to get, the chart checking that range, if you will. So it checked it for a 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and each time we're in this range, we start to wick to the downside. So we see a wick, but then it breaks down. So we failed for a period of quite a while now to break above that 66 cent range, right? And it has been 343 days, so almost an entire year of ranging. So my new range, and the reason I call this range right here the uh-oh zone, would be right here. Let me go ahead and put a line there. And again, I don't typically like to only work with lines. I like to work with ranges. So my range would realistically be here to here. Let's go ahead and get that opacity a little lower, and I'll change it to green. Okay. We'll leave it at white because why not? It looks kind of nice. So this would be my actual range of support here. How do I know this? Well, look. We have a lot of support here consistently where if we wick down, right, once, twice, and then we have a few wicks right here. Consistently, we're seeing buying. We saw an increase in buying right at this range here, right, with the volume. Then the volume again confirmed that the range down here, right, as we grow in volume and we see bigger green volume bars, we're confirming that there's some support here. Even with volatility and a breakdown on Bitcoin and crypto, the general crypto ecosystem, right, we're actually seeing large wicks to the downside right here. In other words, even if the price breaks down here, there are enough buyers stepping in below this range of 48 cents to 45 cents to buy it. However, and this is why I'm a little bit nervous about what's going to happen with XRP into the upcoming couple weeks, we are not seeing real support here. Well, we're seeing support. Sorry, we're seeing enough resistance here, if you will. You notice this wick here, 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 and here. Okay, we're not seeing enough buying to really bring us back above. So what I would like to see, okay, is a break above this range high right here at 55 cents. Okay, I'll put a line there. If we can break above this 55 cent range at a serious time frame of at least a daily bar or greater, that will be very confirming that we're at least going to move to the upper range here at 66 cents. And again, as resistances work, the more times you knock, the more likely they break out. Typically, I like to see a breakout that is confirmed with volume. As things stand, volume has consistently declined. And now, because interest is basically lacking, okay, my theory is whenever you get tight contractions like this, you're due for a break or a move, which is why this is critical, guys. It's really important that you start to make decisions now before a break, whether it's to the upside or the downside. So here's my point. Let's get in here real quick. We're just going to get a line here, and it doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm trying to hit the most points possible. I want to get through those wicks. There is no perfect way to do this. I am seeing support here, so let me just drop this, okay? But if we start to break down right below this line right here at like 47 cents, okay, and then right below this previous wick low, and that would be at, let's drag this right here, at 45 cents, okay, with a close below these lows, that is a very dangerous place for XRP to be. Because if it breaks below there and holds that range, there's virtually no support there. If I pull up like a VRVP, you can see that so much volume is traded here that now it's going to be very difficult for it to break back out. So unless we get some new buyers, some new interest, you go and take all of your paychecks, which I do not recommend. Don't try to be the liquidity provider for something that is too big for you. Okay, you don't have $1 billion to play with this. It's not likely anyways. And so I wouldn't be messing with trying to move a market here. My point is, unless a lot of new people or investors come in with a lot of money, it's going to be very difficult for XRP to break above that 52 cent range. And so typically I like to trade with the general direction of the trend. And right now, it does not seem to be up. It was up from 2022 to 2023 in July, but over the past year, we've just saw a ranging, and now we're breaking down to the lower portion of this yearly range here. So unless we break out and above 52 to 55 cents, it's not likely that we're going to break. It's more likely, that we're going to break to the downside, which would be our first support would be at about 38 to 36 cents, and our next major support would be really that 32 cent range. And this is far more likely to happen, okay, if the entire crypto market breaks down, and arguably Bitcoin does. So it's really important to pay attention. Even though, right, they're not 100% correlated, at the end of the day, when it comes to big dumps, all of the markets are typically correlated. So I would watch that very, very closely, the ranges that I just mentioned. And if you enjoyed this video, okay, click the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out and gets these videos in front of other people who are XRP investors and arguably will be swayed to potentially make a better decision about their portfolios. And also, smash the like button. Again, it all helps the channel out, and we really appreciate you being here and watching this video for this long. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.